The diamond necklace caught the light like 1,000 fractured stars. Maya Carter held it gently, her dark fingers tracing the delicate chain as her younger brother Jamal bounced excitedly beside her. The luxury boutique hummed with quiet wealth, soft classical music drifting through air that smelled like leather and money. Maya wore a simple purple hoodie and jeans, her hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She looked like every other college student on a Saturday afternoon. She looked nothing like the daughter of Marcus Carter, the tech billionaire who had just quietly purchased 3 buildings on this very street. Hello friends, welcome to Black Bite Stories. Before we begin today's story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We love hearing from our global family. The store manager, Catherine Whitmore, watched from across the room. Her eyes narrowed, her jaw tightened. She had worked at Billionaire Jewelers for 15 years, and she knew how to spot trouble. The girl was touching a $70,000 necklace like it was costume jewelry. The boy was practically jumping, drawing attention, creating a distraction. Catherine had seen this before, or so she thought. She moved swiftly, her heels clicking against marble like a countdown. "Excuse me," she said sharply. "That piece requires assisted viewing only." Maya looked up, surprised but polite. "Oh, I'm sorry. I was just admiring it." "It's beautiful." Catherine's smile was thin as paper. "I'm sure it is. But store policy requires that high-value items remain secured unless a purchase is being seriously considered." The emphasis on seriously hung in the air like an insult. Jamal tugged Maya's sleeve. "Can we get it for Mom? It's her birthday next week." Catherine's eyes flicked to the boy, then back to Maya. "That necklace costs more than most people earn in a year, sweetheart." Maya felt the shift in the room. Other customers were watching now. A white couple near the watches exchanged glances. A sales associate paused mid-polish, listening. "I understand," Maya said quietly. "I was actually interested in purchasing it." Catherine's laugh was sharp and practiced. "Of course you were. Look, I don't want any trouble today. Why don't you two browse somewhere more appropriate? There's a lovely mall department store 2 blocks down." The words hit like stones. Somewhere more appropriate. The air turned cold. Jamal's excitement dimmed. "Maya, let's just go." But Maya stood still, something hardening in her chest. She had faced this her entire life, the assumptions, the dismissals, the way people looked at her father and saw a janitor instead of a genius. She had learned young that dignity was quieter than rage. "I'd like to speak with the owner," Maya said calmly. Catherine's expression shifted from dismissive to hostile. "The owner is unavailable. And frankly, I think it's time for you to leave before this becomes uncomfortable for everyone." Maya reached into her hoodie pocket. Catherine's hand shot to the security button under the counter. "Don't move," she barked. Security, code 7, jewelry floor. Everything happened fast. 2 security guards appeared within seconds, large men with serious faces. Customers backed away. Jamal grabbed Maya's arm, fear flooding his eyes. "Ma'am, we need you to step away from the display," one guard said. Maya's hand was still in her pocket. "I'm just getting my phone," she said slowly. "Don't," Catherine snapped. "I saw you slip something into that pocket. Empty it now." The accusation landed like a slap. Maya's breath caught. Around them, phones rose. A woman near the entrance started recording. "I didn't take anything," Maya said, voice shaking not with guilt but with humiliation. Catherine stepped closer, emboldened by the guards. "Then you won't mind proving it. Empty your pockets or we call the police." Jamal was crying now, quiet tears streaming down his face. "Maya didn't steal anything," he whispered. "Please, she didn't." Maya looked at her brother, at his fear, at the way the world was teaching him that his skin made him suspect before he even spoke. She thought of her father, of the nights he had come home exhausted from being underestimated, of the way he had built an empire from nothing while the world assumed he was nobody. She thought of the Bible verse he had taught her when she was Jamal's age. "The Lord will fight for you." You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. So she stood still. She pulled her hand from her pocket slowly, and it was her phone and a black credit card. She placed both on the counter. I came here to buy a gift for my mother, Maya said quietly. Not to be accused of theft because of how I look. Catherine picked up the credit card, examining it like evidence. This is a Centurion card, she said suspiciously. Where did you get this? Maya's voice was steady. It's mine, Catherine scoffed. These cards are invitation only. You expect me to believe a girl dressed like you has a card with no spending limit? She turned to the guards. This is probably stolen, too. Call the police now. The crowd thickened. Whispers spread like fire. One of the guards reached for Maya's arm. Miss, we need you to wait in the security office. Maya pulled back. I'm not going anywhere until you verify that card. Catherine was already dialing. Hello, police? I have a suspected theft in progress at Luminaire Jewelers. 2 suspects, 1 adult female, 1 juvenile male, both black. Yes, they're still here. Maya's stomach dropped. Jamal was shaking. Maya, I'm scared. She pulled him close. It's okay. The truth will come out. But her voice cracked because she knew the truth didn't always matter fast enough. The police arrived within minutes. 2 officers, 1 older and skeptical, 1 younger and uncertain. Catherine rushed to them, voice urgent. Thank goodness you're here. This girl was attempting to steal a $70,000 necklace. She became aggressive when confronted and produced what we believe is a stolen credit card. The older officer looked at Maya. Is this true? Maya met his eyes. No, sir. I came here to make a purchase. I was accused without cause. The officer turned to Catherine. Did you see her take anything? Catherine hesitated. She was touching high-value merchandise without permission. She became defensive when questioned. And that card, she pointed, there's no way it's legitimate. The younger officer picked up the card, examining it. Ma'am, we'll need to verify this. What's your name? Maya took a breath. Maya Carter. The name hung in the air. The younger officer's eyes widened slightly. Carter? As in Marcus Carter? Catherine laughed nervously. Oh, please. She's not related to Marcus Carter. Look at her. But the younger officer was already running the card through a verification system on his tablet. His face changed. The color drained. He looked at Maya, then at his partner. Sir, this card is registered to Marcus Carter. Listed authorized user, Maya Carter, daughter. The store went silent. Catherine's face shifted from confidence to confusion to creeping horror. That's impossible, she whispered. The older officer stepped forward. Miss Carter, I apologize for the confusion. There seems to have been a misunderstanding. Maya's hands were shaking now, adrenaline and anger and hurt pouring through. A misunderstanding? Her voice rose. I was accused of theft. My little brother was terrified. We were treated like criminals because we don't look like we belong here. Catherine tried to speak. I was just following protocol. We have to be careful about security. Maya turned to her, eyes blazing. No, you saw 2 black people and assumed we were thieves. That's not protocol. That's prejudice. The younger officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, do you want to press charges for false accusation and defamation? Maya looked at Catherine, at the fear finally appearing in the woman's eyes, at the way power was shifting so quickly. She could destroy this woman's career with a phone call. 1 call to her father's legal team, and this store would face a lawsuit that would make national news. But Jamal was still crying, and Maya remembered what her father always said. Power isn't about revenge. It's about making sure it never happens again. She took a breath. I want to speak with the owner. Now. Catherine's voice was small. He's not here today. I'm the senior manager on duty. Maya picked up her phone. She dialed a number. It rang once. Dad, she said quietly. I need you. 20 minutes later, Marcus Carter walked through the doors of Luminaire Jewelers like a storm given human form. He was dressed simply, jeans and a blazer, but he carried himself with the quiet authority of a man who had built empires. Behind him came 2 attorneys and a PR representative. The store had never been so quiet. Catherine stood frozen, understanding finally crashing over her like a wave. Marcus walked straight to his daughter. He didn't speak. He just pulled her and Jamal into his arms. "Are you okay?" he whispered. Maya nodded against his chest. He turned to Catherine. His voice was calm, but it carried weight. "You accused my daughter of theft. You terrorized my son. You called the police on my children for the crime of existing in your store while black." Catherine's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Marcus continued. "I'm going to tell you what happens next. First, you're going to apologize to my children. A real apology, not a legal one." Catherine's eyes filled with tears. "Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry. I didn't know who she was. I thought—" Marcus held up a hand. "That's the problem. You didn't know who she was, so you assumed the worst. You saw her skin before you saw her humanity." He stepped closer. "My daughter has a degree from MIT. She's developing AI systems that will change healthcare access for underserved communities. She volunteers at youth centers every weekend. She is brilliant, kind, and compassionate." His voice grew harder. "And none of that should matter. She could be working minimum wage and still deserve to be treated with respect in your store." Catherine was crying now. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Maya watched her. Part of her wanted to feel satisfaction, but mostly she just felt tired. Marcus turned to his attorneys. "Draft a formal complaint. I want a full investigation into this store's treatment of black customers. I want data on security calls, on who gets accused, on who gets followed." He looked at Catherine. "And I want mandatory bias training for every employee, not the cheap online modules. Real, meaningful education." Catherine nodded frantically. "Yes, absolutely. Whatever you want." Marcus's expression didn't soften. "This isn't about what I want. It's about what's right." He turned to the owner's contact information posted behind the counter. He dialed. "David, it's Marcus Carter. We need to talk about what just happened in your store." The conversation was brief. When Marcus hung up, he looked at Catherine. "You're suspended pending investigation. The owner will be here in 30 minutes. Catherine's career was unraveling in real time. But Maya stepped forward. "Dad, wait." Everyone looked at her. She turned to Catherine. "What you did was wrong. It was hurtful and racist and illegal." Catherine nodded, tears streaming. "But I don't think you're evil. I think you're ignorant. And ignorance can be fixed if you're willing to learn." She took a breath. "I want you to spend the next 6 months volunteering at the community center where I work. I want you to meet the kids who get treated like I did today. I want you to understand what your assumptions cost." Catherine looked up, shocked. "You would do that? After what I did?" Maya's voice was firm. "I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the next black girl who walks in here. Because if you learn, maybe you'll see her differently." Marcus looked at his daughter with pride that made his eyes shine. Catherine wiped her face. "I'll do it, I promise. I'll do whatever it takes." The owner arrived minutes later, mortified and apologetic. Policies were changed that afternoon. Security protocols were rewritten. A community advisory board was established. 3 months later, Maya returned to Luminaire Jewelers. The store looked the same, but it felt different. There were photos on the walls now, diverse faces modeling the jewelry. The security guards had completed implicit bias training. And Catherine was different, too. She had spent 12 weeks at the community center, learning names and stories, watching kids like Jamal grow up under the weight of assumptions. When she saw Maya enter, she approached carefully. "Miss Carter," she said quietly, "I wanted to thank you for the opportunity you gave me, and to show you something." She led Maya to a new display. "We started a partnership with local artists. Half of our showcase pieces now come from black and brown designers." Maya examined the work. It was stunning. "This is beautiful," Catherine nodded. "I learned something these past months. I learned that I had been seeing the world through a very small window. And I learned that privilege isn't just about what you have. It's about what you assume." She paused. "I'm sorry for what I assumed about you." Maya met her eyes. She saw genuine change there, the kind that comes from humility and effort. "Thank you," she said simply. Catherine hesitated, then continued. "I also wanted to give you this." She pulled out a small box. Inside was the diamond necklace from that first day. "It's a gift," Catherine said. "For your mother, no charge." "It's the least we can do." Maya shook her head. "I can't accept that." Catherine's face fell. But Maya smiled. "Because I want to pay for it. I came here 3 months ago to buy my mother a gift." "I'd still like to do that." Understanding dawned on Catherine's face. This wasn't about money. It was about dignity. About completing the transaction that should have happened without trauma the first time. "Of course," Catherine said softly. "It would be an honor." As Maya completed the purchase, Jamal appeared from browsing the watch section. He wasn't scared anymore. He smiled at Catherine, and she smiled back, a real smile filled with hard-won understanding. Later that evening, Maya presented the necklace to her mother at her birthday celebration. The family gathered close as her mother opened the box. She gasped, "Maya, it's perfect." "But this must have cost." Maya shook her head. "It cost exactly what it should have. And I want to tell you the story of how I bought it." She told the story, all of it. Her mother listened with tears in her eyes. When Maya finished, her father stood and raised his glass. "To my daughter," he said, "who taught us all that strength isn't about power. It's about how you use it to lift others." The family echoed the toast. Jamal tugged Maya's sleeve. "You were really brave," he whispered. "I want to be like you when I grow up." Maya pulled him close. "You already are. You stood by me when you were scared. That's the bravest thing anyone can do." Her mother clasped the necklace around her neck. "This is the most precious gift I've ever received. Not because of what it costs, but because of what it represents. You turn pain into purpose." Maya thought about that moment in the store, the humiliation, the fear, the way the world had tried to make her small. She thought about Catherine's tears and transformation. She thought about the policy changes and the community partnerships and the kids who would walk into that store now and be seen differently. "I learned something too," Maya said softly. "I learned that you can't always control how people see you, but you can control what you build from their blindness." Her father nodded. "And what did you build?" Maya smiled softly. "A bridge. One others can cross without carrying the weight I carried." They sat together in peaceful silence as the diamond necklace caught the light. Outside, the city moved on. Somewhere, a young black girl walked into a store without fear. Somewhere, a decision was made to see humanity before assumption. Change was happening, not loudly, but steadily. Maya's phone buzzed. A message from Catherine. "Thank you for seeing who I could become, not just who I was." Maya replied, "Thank you for doing the work to become her." She thought of the verse her father once taught her, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." She had stood still while the world rushed to judge her, and in that stillness truth had spoken. This is dignity, Maya realized. Not loud. Not violent. Unstoppable. Her mother asked, "What are you thinking?" "That the necklace isn't the real gift," Maya said. "The real gift is knowing the next girl won't have to fight this battle." Her father raised his glass, his voice steady but filled with hard-earned emotion. "To breaking cycles," he said, meeting her eyes. "To building bridges where walls once stood." They drank together, not in celebration of wealth or victory, but of healing. Years of quiet pain no longer weighed so heavily. They had been reshaped into purpose. The past hadn't disappeared, but it no longer defined her. Dignity, Maya understood, doesn't merely survive hardship. It shines through it, guiding others forward. In that moment, she was no longer just a girl in a hoodie. Maya Carter had become a catalyst for change.